Okay. Hani Milei says Masnisin Avalova Brisa. It's only a Mishnah Brisa, and that is the opinion of somebody because he says that das re those the Ramaskal Hachra the Apple Brisa Machri'a Nega Rifa only Barashi. Okay, so this is against all those Rif, the Goyim and Rashi hold it's only in the Mishnah, not in a Brisa. I don't know whether there should be a difference, but that is evidently the opinion of most of the Rishonim here. But is this tough? Where is this tough going to?
Where are you reading?
There's a tough right before Das Re in brackets. So it's going to go.
Hey.
It's a hey. Oh. So the hey is going to the Hagos Manai Komakom. Avani Meslisin, Ablo Bryson, this Comtino, Shabbos Mem, Mechinkos Lotais, Ervin, Gimel, etc. Okay, I can't read it here. I'm going to take up my door. This is impossible. Okay. Okay, Comical, so says the Hagos Ben Aryeh. The Mashkas that's a read. That which writes the opinion reads, but Bakama the Abba Bryce Lochel Kamachriya, Bryce Lochel like Machri'a. So much feel like Lomina El Beloshon Vidilma. Perhaps. Although that's ain't okay. It's not true. Mashki Mashkas Sham, it sounds that way. That which is the hard tiny of a case of Mavarkim Masham and Chule, Kashagania, but Yohan Loch Dibin Machri'a. So that's and it's in a brisa. It's not a true achra. It says the Ben Aryeh. The point. So it's why Rabbi Yochanan have to say Divrei Machri'a. We know how all over Divrei Machri'a. Why does Rabbi Yochanan have to say that there? Right? So the reason suggests Ben Aryeh is because it's a brisa. And normally don't say Divrei Machri'a but brisa. So therefore Rabbi Yochanan say, yeah, but in this case, we do say Divrei Machri'a even in a brisa. As it says, Rabbi Yochanan Meimar. Halach Divrei Apagav Yugubik Kfar Omar Bekira. He says in Second Shabbos, Kol Makom everywhere passing Machri'a Ayin Sham. The average feel places that MSU the law Amar Elam Masnisin Karmino Sham. So this is why it's why it seems places holds it's even a brisa. Because if it was true, it's only in the Mishnah. It came my kashalu mihad the Ketzur Klallim have a brisa. Why do they have a question from Ketzur Klallim with the brisa? So it must be that he holds that perhaps it's only in the Mishnah, or perhaps it's only a Brisa. So where is this in Shabbos? Shabbos Daf Mem Amud Aleph. Shabbos of Mem Amud Aleph. It says, okay, so So the Gemara starts today with page 4 of Muhammad Tesabay. It says, Amar Yechon, Amar Yechon Marayanai, Amar Rab, Kum Shatamose Shnaim Chalukim. Everybody say probably people argue, Vecha Machri'a, Haluk Divrei Machri'a. Chutz, except for Kile Matlanios, leniencies by towels and Shabbos. Shabbos Rabbi Lezer Machmir, Rabbi Shua make up Rabbi Kiva Machri'a, even though Rabbi Lezer's Machmir. Rabbi Shua they make up Rabbi Kiva's Machri'a, he makes bounces you too, and look at Divrei Rabbi Machri'a. Well, it's not like the Machri'a there, Rabbi Kiva Talmud. He was a Talmud, it has to be the same generation, evidently. Well, in front of him, that Rabbi Akiva Gabi Rabbi Yeshua. Right? Halacha is Rabbi Akiva also changed his mind. He went like Rabbi Yeshua. So it says Gemara, the question is, the Gemara says there afterwards, maybe that we say that halacha is only a Mishnah of a Braisa loy, but not in a Braisa. So there, evidently, Taisa says that Dilma is only a Dilma. In other words, maybe don't say the Braisa, but the Maskana Taisa holds, or the Re holds that we do say Allah is giving a Machri'a in a Braisa. Okay. So that's only a Dilma. Okay. So let's see back here over here again. So he says. Elbai says the B'derech v'dimah v'akamar asam aval emes eno kain akash l'visa picture nami shom perakir zamalei b'feiru shmieli. It says there, the Gemara says, goes on to say, you know what? It could be, doesn't answer. No, it's also a Bryce. It says whoever was quoting the halacha by Kulei Maslaniel says, no, I heard explicitly. That's the halacha. Not because, so it sounds like that. The reason why is because I heard it explicitly, not because I was giving Machri'a. So it sounds like, according to my scholar, also Divrei Machri'a doesn't work by Brisa. That's what you have to say. But Fei Shmili Halacha is like Rabbi Akiva, whatever it is. Kosh again. The season fiction on Misham Berakir on my labor Fei Shmili fiction on the Nami. The Fiamis Lamalei Rabbi Yochanan Meimar Fei Shmili Rabbi Yehuda. Akvar Maklo Come Shatam Motze B'Chui. Moshe Shatei Sahab the Parakis and Barchim Canal. Elevade Kano Emes. The must is choose Loma High Kol and Masisa Loba Brisa. The Nicha of Parakir Parakmates and Varchim. So what about places? Yeah, places after she decided Parakir Sham Diamas Dima Chui. Abba Gab Loka Mishal say no Hachi. Even though it doesn't say our mission that way, Masha the Masha the Elok Masom Mishum the Stama Sisa the Lokava say Akan Lashona. Allah is not like whoever was there because the Stam Mishnah is not like him. In case so therefore, because there's a Stam Mishnah which is problematic, you have to say explicitly that Allah is like him nevertheless. In other places, I feel with Brisa, the Allah is Divrei Machri'a. Even the Brisa Allah is like the Machri'a. Milokamar Mishnah Seinu. Doesn't say Allah is Divrei Machri'a, but Mishnah Seinu, just as Divrei Machri'a includes the Brisa as well. Mirkati Kosh the Hashem Berakes and Barchinami Ikla Mei Mahachi. Shalom Beisil, Kov Beisil, Shalom Beisil, the Shai Makam Beisil, and a Mishnah. Who took the soak ahead? You had you over Tzarchiyim. Okay, he's not sure. There seems to go on in Brachos, which doesn't work out this way, and we don't have to see that further. Let's go back to the text. Now he explains what's Talcum HaMachri'a. The inner Machri'a, Shlish is feeling Kachaminayu, Afil Davar Echad. That he holds like one of them, even in one thing, one aspect. But when he says a new opinion, which doesn't follow either opinion, in other words, even he makes like a middle opinion, like makes a compromise. They don't say Divrei Machri'a because he's not really being Machri'a. He's saying his own shita, and his shita is a third shita, but it doesn't make a row. The Sefer Kitzur Klallim and Ayin Hechad Shlosha Havi Belasha and the Chachamim. If they're all, this is an interesting idea. If they're all Lashon Chachamim Omrim, Avgav Shidei Shlish is Machri'a. Okay, that's interesting. I guess if it's Chachamim Omrim, then there's a third Chachamim Omrim which makes the compromise. So then it levels the playing field. Since everybody's called Chachamim, so therefore we follow the third Chachamim. Mm-hmm. Okay? Interesting. That's the main time. Prepare kagoyso. They have the chat of the garment kachat time called Daravav. Love a Machri'a. Okay, that's also fascinating. If the third opinion, the bottom of the Greeb says actually the re again. The third opinion whole, he goes like one of the two Tanoim completely. He doesn't say, oh, like Tana A in terms of this issue and Tana B in terms of that issue. That's not called the Machri'a. El the Slaver Pal Kamar or Palgo Kamar, which is interesting because I don't see why it should be that way. If Machri'a is in the basis of Rove, so then if he holds like one kind of completely down the line, so that becomes the Rove. So I'm not sure why Rabbeinu Tam or the Re would say that. I guess because the principle, I guess he would hold really that it's not based on Rove. That it's not the idea that since you have two against one on each aspect, so therefore halacha is like that. He's saying there's a special, like Masorah. Halacha divrei Machri'a. If you have a Machri'a, you're passing like him. And therefore he says it only applies if it's a Machri'a, not if he says like one side completely. So it might be that will create the phenomenon of Rove. Maybe, but it's not going to create the phenomenon of Machri'a. Machri'a is a specific unique halacha where the third party was held like one in one aspect, another aspect. Okay, so he obviously must learn halacha. Machri'a is a separate issue from Rove. Okay. Continue on. Because here we just saw in Shabbos, even Rabbi Akiva, at the time Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Yeshua, his Achra, even though it's the greatest time of all time, does not about Achra. Does not call Machri'a because he's a Talmud. So the case I made up at the beginning of our conversation about Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi being Machri'a, it wouldn't work because Rabbi was a Talmud of Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. He wasn't. He was a later generation. Doesn't work out. So that's Rabbi Talmud. I think it's also supposed to be here. No, here it says in the Ghost it's supposed to be the Rach, Rabbi Chanal. That's Rabbi Chanal. Kshadesh called them as Malachokim. They went back and they found an earlier Tana. That was like one of the sides, and one and the other. Even though it seems to constitute Achra, Lo Mikra Achra came to Lava Layuk. Achra because he was early in time, it's not going to this Machlekes. So therefore, he can't be called the Machri'a in this Machlekes. Sounds like Rabbi Khan also said, Halacha Divrei Machri'a is not based on Rove, but it's a unique statement in and of itself. And therefore, even though de facto, the fact that you had an earlier time and said that way should create a Rove, it doesn't create a Rove. So in the Ghost Yibitz, he says, in Zion, he said, Lochashi Machri'a Okshomer Dvar B'Mamad Echad Im HaChokim Yachad. Lo Kodem Lohem B'Lo Achareim. So the Yibitz is saying a very interesting thing. He's saying that Halachi Ben Machri'a means he was there with them. Mm-hmm. There are three people sitting together, and they deliberated. And then I said, Halachi Ben Machri'a. But we're a later generation or earlier generation, since they're not interacting with each other directly, we don't say Halachi Ben Machri'a. I guess because we would say that we don't know what would have happened, what would have transpired had they all gotten together, right? Okay. Maybe the Machri'a would say, you know what, my Achra is wrong or something. But since they're all together at the same time, so everybody say, look at the Divrei Machri'a. That's an interesting concept. Let's see, the Ein Blain Ella, okay, I know what that's referring to. Okay, let's see, that goes Benaria above. It's a long one. That's a Bein Chanan El Kshader Shlish Kodim B'Zman HaChokim Kinkos to place above Kama based on base. That's Bein Chanan Shem Farish Erech Shlish Machras. And Dor Shlishi, the third generation, then Achras Talmud Achra. Can I might come in Perkal B'Son the Ram Gamliel La Machri'ahu? Well, so Dor Shlishi sounds like it's a Talmud is okay, Just a Talmud of a Talmud is not okay. So the question is, why is on Lilian Lana Machri'a? And the Machri'a are made of Rabbi Yehuda, because the Shom Mishum Zaya Kodem is not all Chokim, are made of Rabbi Yehuda. So Gamliel was earlier. So therefore he's not a Machri'a. Zekirei HaChocham HaMachaber Hazeh. The Kitzur Klallim Talmud has this in mind. Mashkas Av Sheino Tamido Mamish, or Shachar Bezman, or Pi Peru Sharach Bachra Shlishis. That's what Rabbi Yochanan. The guy that takes the Kitzur Shom Shabbos Shom so Perkan Sachim, the Ben Chanan Shlishis Lav Dafka, not necessarily a third generation. And within Shnia, okay, good. It's not necessarily a third generation, even a second generation, even a Talmud. Okay, so I was wondering about that. And the Shnia in Akras Talmud Akra, Kanisham Chada, Rameir Talmud. But Yisrael Abba Tzim Boka was because of the Shona. Perush Omulo. Ein Akra Shlishis Machras, Komar, HaTalmud Shem at Dvorim Mipi Rabbaisov. Oh, he seems to argue. He says a Talmud who hears the words from his Rabbi, from his Rabbi. The Chol Achri Aleim, he can make a determination via Machri'a. Because he heard their reasons and the evidence from them directly. And he then decided, okay, I see the logic of one of them over the logic of the other one. Rabbi Akiva Talmida Machri'a. The Rabbi Akiva, the Talmud can be Machri'a. It's not. Stephen seems he didn't give that we have in our Gemara, but he says the Talmud can be Machri'a. V'amar said Mina Muchan Tamei. If the towel was already designated for whatever it's not a towel. It's a towel. It's like a rag. If the rag is designated, then it can be Makabal Tumah because it's considered to be a keli. The Shlomo Nemucham is not considered. It's not designated. It's Torah because it's not considered to be a keli. Sharadi Rabbi Lezer Rabbo Bezev Di Rabbi Yeshua Rabbo Bezev. Okay, he determined that Rabbi Lezer was right one thing. Yeshua was both right the other thing, and they're both his Rabbi. But the Talmud of Akiva could not have been Machri'a. Okay. Kemen Rabbi Akiva lo Yachri'a, sheshama ta'amam mipiem tamidam minole. That's interesting. If somebody is supposed to be Machri'a, it should be Rabbi Akiva because he heard directly. It can't skip a generation, right? Because that means that the Talmud never heard Rabbi Akiva. The Talmud should have heard Rabbi Akiva if that was the case. Yeah. Okay. Next page. Everybody should be following inside. But okay. The same Shami Bazay Vadim Pirush Rach when he Arachli Ba Kan Lashona. Vayin Lashon Rach Berach Aruch Karak. Rach is down in the Aruch in the entry on Karak. Because of Zel Shona. Achra Kikam Shnei Chochem Chokim Yertu Chochem argue Bob Ben Zugam Shushaka Kamaisa. Which again is not much like the Rabban because it sounds like it's gotta be the same generation, right? Equal stature to them. It means a lesser stature. This goes more like the places than the Rabban, who says that even a Talmud can't be Machri'a, not just a Talmud of a Talmud. Even though he's hearing it from them, since he's in other words, he heard the both of the reasons. But since he's of a lesser stature, ain't Hachra also Hachra. Hachra is not Hachra. Avarabama Faishu Ben Zugam, he holds that when it says Ben Zugam, it doesn't mean the same generation, but it means Kamar Talmidim, students. In other words, Ben Zugam means a guy, I shouldn't say guy, a Tana who was present and heard directly the rationales. Perhaps also the Aruch is not copying the language of the Rach precisely, but only he's interpreting his intent. Aruch learns that the Rach like this is that, in fact, even if Talmidim can't be Machri'a. Fi Beresh Ravan, the Achra Shlishis Dafka. So when it says Ein Achra Shlishis Machras, right? That's a whole different spin. Means the Achra of the third generation doesn't work. Of Achra Shnia, but the second generation, Achra Talmud called Rabbi Akiva, Neged Rabbi Yeshua, have Achra. It is about Achra. There's just here the Rabban becoming and Shamba. Oh no, how the Rabbi Akiva Gabi Rabbi Yeshua? The Gemara says, first one says he's the Talmud. But then the Gemara says also Rabbi Akiva changed his mind and went like Rabbi Yeshua. This is how the Rabban was. Kafi no mar da Achra Talmud Achra. Even when you say that the determination of Talmud is about determination, and the Rabban rejects the first svara, which says Rabbi Akiva can't be Machri'a because of Talmud, and goes into the second svara. Rabbi Akiva could be Machri'a, but he wasn't Machri'a because he sided like Rabbi Yeshua completely. I think we learned that last week. That when there's a va'od, the va'od is the primary lashon, right? The va'od is that we go after the second lashon. But across time, I have a call never not across the time. Is a call going on? You know, I'm reading across this is Machras. I think it's the across this is not Machri'a. But here, I know across Talmud, Machras. That works. I had a card question, but now it's simple. But he said, "Hechi happy boy with Meimar, Chadra keep a Talmudu." Right? How do you say? What if that's the case? Why? What does it mean that Rabbi Akiva was a Talmud? Call me a brisa. I know this is Tishba Chedel. The Ktani Ein Achra Shishis Machras Muchach the Rish Rabban. The Achras Talmud have Achra. I guess Rabban brings evidence with some brisa. Some I finish Rabban Rabbi Yochanan Gufa he was sapli Achra Shishis Lav Dafka Dun Shnia. Achra Shishis Dafka Beresh Rabban. Okay. The one itself is Mesupa. Kakamar Chara B'Chuy V'Od Chuy V'Duk. Shumatzati B'Shuvas Ramah Simonei She'ir Medivrei Rabban Ayin Sham. Okay, so basically we have a big machlokes here, whether it works in the case of a Talmud or doesn't work in the case of a Talmud. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's the end for that. Let's do the next one. HaMinhag Shomo Vata Halacha Dafka Minhag Vatikin. The Gemara says that Minhag is a Vata Halacha, which is used, which is a very dangerous statement, and is used by some rabbis in a very inappropriate way. They say if you have a minhag in the community, it's a Vata Halacha, right? That's a very dangerous thing because it means any Tom, Dick, or Harry minhag might be able to Vata Halacha, and it's not the case. In fact, that's what he says here. It's only Dafka Minhag Vatikin. Only a minute of I guess the ancient and righteous people. A minute tam, minute has no evidence or reason. Minhag kosu. They say minhag is osios Gehenna because a certain minhag which will bring you straight down to hell. Okay, so this is let's see, say that there is the only time we follow a minhag is when it is a minhag which has a strong and definite basis based on a very strong and definite authority. Okay. You want to do a couple more or you want to stop here?
I think we can stop here. Did we do all the stuff in the middle, in the center, or we just sort of said the Hilchasa and went off?
I think all is still the Hilchasa.
So we still have the Teiku and all that stuff to do?
Yeah, we didn't do it yet. Yeah. This is still going halacha. As far as it goes, so that's the next part. I think till Tikkun Sofrim.
Sorry?
No, till Divrei Torah. See what it says, Divrei Torah? Divrei Torah on the next page. Divrei Torah, Divrei Kabbalah,
yeah.
That goes to the next part. That's right. The end. That's where the one before that is where the halacha series ends.
Okay, so we should
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll continue.
We're
with
getting
stuff
to the
on side.
famous, we're getting soon, the most famous part of this Hagzama, of the Mavo HaTalmud, which is what he says about Agadata.
Okay, I didn't quite catch that, but okay, next week.
All right, take care.
Shkach.